Protest the G20 back at the G20 Summit weekend there in Toronto.
Sure. Hi, my name is Derek Sobral. I am a local resident of Toronto, and I wanted to see what was happening in the city. So I ended up walking downtown Toronto, and I got ID checked before the G20 Summit began.
Listen, okay, this is the way it happens, okay? If you don't identify yourself to me, then under that act, I'm gonna have to arrest you.
Arrest me for not showing ID?
That's right. So I need to see your ID right now.
So what if I came out right now and if I didn't have ID? Like, look at these people that are walking by us at the same time that you're asking me for ID.
Listen.
Yeah, because I'm taking a picture of what's going on while the cameras are on us, the public. But we can't film see what's going on.
I've explained it to you already.
So these people are walking by. Do you guys have ID? You're all supposed to have ID to show the police. They're going to arrest me for not showing ID.
I need your ID.
I can show you my ID, yes.
Okay, then show it.
But I refuse to, and you're forcing me from my own free will to show ID.
Under duress.
Under duress. Here, hold this. So I want to document this stuff. This is out of hand. Of course I can show ID, but I refuse to.
Approximately 6 weeks after the summit was finished, something happened to you near your house. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Well, I heard about Queen's Park, and there was a $45 million lawsuit being taken place, and I live in Toronto, so I thought I'd walk up there and just find out what was happening.
They were simply shocked at what they had gone through. They never thought that this could happen in Canada.
There appear to be hundreds and hundreds of potential claimants here who experienced essentially the same types of issues and concerns.
I've launched this lawsuit on behalf of the class of plaintiffs to seek the truth and to hold those responsible for these actions accountable.
So basically I went up there and City TV Pulse 24 wanted to do a live piece with me, and they put me on television and they asked me what I thought about G20. And
why were you on the streets of Toronto?
Well, the fact that there's 16,000 police officers, I think we have a right to know what's going on in our city, and we have to be open and honest, and we have to have a public inquiry take place. And what I witnessed on the G20 summit was appalling. What happened, innocent people were being detained, illegal searches, secret laws passed in private. We all have human rights, and we're not going to be brutalized by the police. We're not going to be terrorized. We don't stand for Public Works Act, which is a fraud. Okay. So that's pretty much it.
That's why you're here, okay,
yeah.
And you're going to be joining this, G20classaction.com.
I did that show, and then about 8 days later, I'm sitting in front of my condo. Yeah, this is where I was on the night of August 16th, and I was just sitting here having a conversation with somebody when I noticed that a cop car had his lights off, and he was way in the back. Now I said, that is a little suspicious, one, and I said I should have the right to go up and just ask like a question off the record. I wanted to ask him about the Freedom of Information Act, and I just asked him a couple questions. I said, I've done a couple radio shows and I was on television. I informed him. And I said, I want to know, I just had a question for you. Do you mind if I ask you a question? And he agreed to that. I had a question with him. I was a gentleman. And I just said, I wished him a good night. And 5 minutes later, he pulls his car around saying that I'm loitering out front of my condo where I live. And I thought, oh no, like this is an intimidation tactic. And he asked me for my identification. And I said, wait a second, you don't have the right to ask me for identification. This is my right to be on a public sidewalk first. And I said specifically, how dare you come up and intimidate me? This is not right. That's the point where he got out of his car, and we're going to look at the security camera right now. I'm standing right in front of my condominium here, and basically a car pulls up, police officer says, come here. And he proceeded to ask me what I was doing there, why I'm here out this late, and he said I was loitering. Basically he was like fishing. He said, I'm loitering. Where do you live? I need your identification. I said, what are you doing out here? You're loitering. I said, excuse me? I said, I live here. He's sitting in the car and I'm in the window talking to him. He's saying, do you live around here? This is 2 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing out here? It's 1:57 a.m., you know? I just went out for a cigarette. Is there something against the law that says I cannot have a smoke outside? He just started interrogating me. He said, are you scoping me out? Because, you know, coming from a police standpoint, like, why would I go up to him in the middle of the night and ask him a question? But I think I have the right to do that, you know? You can see I'm talking I'm right behind him at that moment, and that's where he pushes me.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushes me there, and then I'm taking off. Because he has the ID, and obviously I live in the same building.
It says this on your ID?
It does. It says the same address. Yeah, this address. So how could I give the identification and then take off? Where am I going to go? I live here. I said I'm not going to be afraid to go and try to make contact with this police officer.
Yeah.
Just because I want to know if he's aware of what I'm aware of what happened. Because he's serving the public. He should have knowledge of what occurred, that went wrong, and he should have...
What was the tone of your voice, though?
The tone of my voice was it was relaxed, you know? I'm not, like, the way that I talk now.
Yeah.
I give him the identification. As I'm giving him the ID, he pushes me. Now, he assaults me, I move about 3 feet, and that's when I ran to get help because I've just been assaulted from a police officer. So you could see that he gets in his car, basically. And in that circumstance, I was afraid because I've seen those snatch and grab tactics during G20. I've seen innocent people being rounded up, taken into police cruisers, and I was in fear. And I went to get help. I went into my condominium to get the security guard. See, that cop just pushed me. He just assaulted me. That cop right over there, that's him. He's coming after me now. I gotta go get help. That's pretty much what I said. I was really upset that I just got hit. The cop was obviously trying to provoke me. He wanted me to retaliate. What happened was when he pushed me, he was provoking me. He was probably looking for me to hit him back, and I'd never touch a police officer. And when we got back, when I went in to get help, I went directly to the security guard. I think I just dropped my iPad there. So I'm just showing the security officer, come here, I need some help. I just wanted to be protected in my own place where I live. And I'm just like, I need some protection, what can you do? I'm terrified, I don't know what to do. Like, if you have a police officer running after you for doing nothing, you're gonna be a little bit intimidated, for sure. And especially where I live. How can I be loitering? I was just shocked. Completely shocked. Very surreal.
This is the one they went through?
Yeah, this is the door that I went through. When I came in and I was running trying to get help, I just went right to the security. See all the cops come in. There's 2 at the beginning. And one guy you can see just puts on his gloves right away. And they're getting ready. Here he goes. Let's get down to business. Let's get this loiterer who's just standing in front of his condominium. You can obviously see he's got my identification in his hand. Because I was complying up until the part that he assaulted me. I wouldn't have ran if there was no other reason other than I was in fear. So he has to call like all the backup. He couldn't handle me himself. Like, I have no power, I don't have a gun, I'm not a threat, I don't have a criminal record. He had to call so many guys to come after me. So he's showing them, here, this is the guy. Shouldn't they know that I live here? How could I be loitering? How could they come after me for nothing? And he's saying, like, he's putting his hands up like he's in defense. Like, oh, I did nothing wrong, this guy just started running, he probably has drugs on him or something. Making up some kind of story. This is the guy. Everybody else is just doing their job. You know? But he's got to be held accountable. As soon as I come into the lobby, you can see that he has my identification in his hand. So you know that I would run because I was assaulted. Because I wouldn't have gave my ID if I chose to run after that fact. I would have just ran and not show ID. So it's good to come back to my home where I should feel secure. I should feel protected, you know. Shouldn't feel intimidated and have 12 cops run after me. You know, that's the most intimidating thing that ever happened in my life. I'm looking for a place to kind of hide, in all honesty. You can see the cops coming here. Some of them start running, because I'm getting in the back of the condo here. I was looking for a place to get out of here. I'm like, cops are after me for doing nothing. I didn't break the law. I'm like, this is like unbelievable. So I ended up hopping the fence here, and then all the cops come out here. And they start hopping the fences, chasing me.
I saw in the footage you were hopping a fence, and that's when, around the time when the cruiser came up, 11 or 12 guys surrounded you and appeared to slam you down on the hood of the car. Describe what it was like dealing with those officers at that time.
Emotionally wise, I've never gone through that in my life. I've only seen like cops on TV, you know, the TV show where they just do like chases after suspects that are real criminals. And I was just really intimidated. I was scared. I didn't know why I was being harassed. I did show identification, and then I got assaulted. So I have the right to try to seek help in self-defense. You know, try to get a security guard and to say, hey, please help me. Because I don't know what he's going to do next. I don't know if he's just going to handcuff me and arrest me for nothing. I was terrified by 12 cops. That's when all the cops come out of the woodworks. I'm asking, have I been arrested? What did I do wrong? I got assaulted from one of your police officers. And I'm just overwhelmingly intimidated at the presence, how they would have to have 12 on me. And where I live, my own condominium, I have freedom, I got rights, you know? And they're taking this away and they start pushing me up against the cruiser, illegally searching my telephone, I have a cell phone and my iPad. They're going through my videos, they're going through my information, bending up my wrist with a lot of force. And I just said, hey, can I speak to a lawyer? Why am I being held? And they basically said I was being under investigation. They searched me illegally. They started making derogatory statements against me. They said that I was a drug addict, that I'm an alcoholic, and that I should be in a mental institution, okay? These are statements strictly made for intimidation. Now, I think it has a lot to do that I was in the public view, okay? That I was on TV talking about the $45 million lawsuit. I think I should stand for my rights, and I should be able to speak in public, and I should document it, you know? So when those cops came after me, they detained me, they said I was under investigation. I told them that I just got assaulted by one of the police officers, and I'm scared because there's 12 of you. It was such an overwhelming use of power. How many cops would it take to go after somebody walking on the sidewalk? 12 of them, essentially here, in this case. I mean, if I was a known criminal and I had some kind of background or some kind of criminal record with a history, I could understand this, but I have absolutely no criminal record. I've never committed a crime. I'm not a criminal. I don't like to be treated like this because I have freedom of speech, and I've been talking about what happened during G20, and I believe this is very coincidental. They're here serving us. You know, they're here to protect the public. And I was attacked, I was assaulted. They ID'd me, I gave the identification, and then I ran to get help after I was assaulted. They illegally detained me, searched my belongings, and then essentially they let me go because I didn't commit a crime, so it just justifies what I was doing. I didn't do anything wrong.
What are they saying to you?
They're making derogatory statements such as I'm under the influence of drugs. They just started making these statements. You're on drugs, aren't you? You're an alcoholic. And then they made statements to the security guard that I should be in a psych ward because I'm mentally unstable. They were making all types of derogatory statements against me while he's being searched. They didn't give me any reason. I said, can I speak to a lawyer? And they just said, shut up.
And they actually have your iPad open?
They got my iPad, yeah, they're going through my iPad. They're going through my telephone calls. Just an invasion of privacy. And you're just in shock, and you don't say anything because you're scared, one. So you just want it to be over with, and you want to go back to your home, where you live.
What's up with this black car, too?
It looks like an undercover car, yeah. They might have been scoping me out. 2 months after G20. This looks like a reenactment of the Ontario Public Works Act, where one, they ID'd me, and then they were threatening me, they were intimidating me. How can you ID me for standing on the sidewalk where I live and say I'm loitering? They didn't cuff me, because then I would have been under arrest.
It looks like your hands are behind your back.
Yeah, so basically they're telling me to get my stuff and get out of here. So I'm free at this point. I'm told I can go home. And I said it's unnecessary that you guys did this to me. I'm shocked. I was making little comments like, I can't believe you guys do this to people. You know what I mean? What did I do wrong? I don't have a record. I can't believe you guys, you know? I just walk away and that was it. And there's the one dude. He was the only one that abused his power. The other cops, I commend them for doing their job. They were only responding to a call. But they probably knew that they saw the identification that I lived in the condominium, so they knew that I didn't do anything wrong. And then I just walk home. I get ID'd and everybody else is free to walk. And it shows that the Ontario Public Works Act was in place 8 weeks after G20. Because they ID'd me, they intimidated me, and then they let me go without arrest. And I do not have a criminal record, for the record. I've never committed a crime, but I believe I have freedom of speech, and that's all I have in this world. You know, I have the right. My weapons are my mouth and my camera when I want to document things that are happening.
We're with the police to protect the public. Let's ask the right questions. We're not going to shut up. We got voices. We got freedom. We have civil liberties. And you can't try to take them away, sir.
We have to be aware of what's going on. And a lot of crimes were committed during this G20 event. And the only people that are actually covering it is the alternative media, and such as Press for Truth, The Real News, and you can check out my website, www.thesecretstore.ca. There's a lot of evidence there.